4,000 weeks. That's how much time we get here if we're lucky. Take a moment right now and calculate how much of that time has already gone by. Actually, you know what? Let me just do that for you because math is hard. If you're 20, you've already went through about 1,000. If you're 15, 750. Or if you're 30, you've already used up 1,500 weeks. If you look back on how that time has been used so far, are you proud of what you've done? Look, I don't want to be that guy on the internet that tells you time is running out and your prime will soon be gone, so you've got to make as much money as you can and optimize every single second of your future. But I would certainly like you to enjoy your time here and develop yourself to a standard that you can look back on with fondness at old age. And I think my recent discovery can help you do just that. It's not often that I come across one of those inspiring quotes on the internet that really hits, considering I've seen just about every single one of them in my comments from people trying to deceptively promote their YouTube channel, but this one was different. And it's something that I've always tried to live by. That quote was, "Be impossible to explain." And I love that. So how does one do that? Well, in order to be difficult to comprehend, you first must understand the boxes that you're letting everyone put you in. In every single person's head you interact with, there exists an idea of a you. Based on what you guys have experienced together, what they've heard or seen about you, and how you've acted or reacted to situations, they form some sort of conception of a you. Now, the depth of this you depends on the amount of information they've been exposed to relating to you, and that can be in the form of word of mouth or actual experiences. And even when they are exposed to a lot of information or experiences with you, it may not accurately depict who you actually are if it's the wrong information or experiences. Regardless, you should be thinking about all of these different identities that exist inside the heads of others as boxes. As sad as it is for the majority of people, they let other people's versions of themselves dictate their behaviors and actions. If they're around those friends that see them as the shy person, then they'll act in accordance with that box. If they're around the people that see them as the sociable person, then they will probably act sociable with those people. It's kind of like that meme going around of you accidentally using your friend group 1 personality with friend group 2. So when we think about this, that begs the question, who are you, really? That's a little too complicated of a question that I've covered in more depth before. What I really wanted you to get to think about from the explanation in this part of the video is to start to ponder how you're letting those boxes define you, how to break out of them completely, and consciously choose how you're gonna act and what you're going to do. I don't just want to be remembered as the guy who was nice to most people or the YouTuber. I also want people to say, this dude really didn't let anyone define him, and he did what he wanted. But to tell you the truth, I have not been living by that statement. In fact, I've been letting my life slowly slip by without having any new experiences for at least a month now. Every day has felt almost exactly the same, lived by the exact same person. So I decided to change that. All right, I've had enough. Okay, so I'm about to go do something that I've never done before. I decided to randomly sign up for Improv. If you don't know what Improv is, it kind of says what it is in the name itself. You improvise acting out scenarios with different people. So I went on meetup.com and found an improv group happening in person in just a couple days. When I arrived at the building, I had no idea what to expect, but I certainly was not expecting the level of discomfort and cringe I would soon face. But in order to even do stuff like this and actually have the time to make the most of your life and become impossible to explain, you need to have money, let's be real here. And ideally we would want our money to be working for us in the form of something like investing, but in 2023 that's definitely easier said than done. Household debt in America just surged past an all-time high of $17 trillion, and last year retirement accounts and investment portfolios weren't even enough to keep up. But even as traditional investments struggled, one market saw its richest year ever, and that was the fine art market. A study from Deloitte expects it to grow by $1 trillion in the next 2 years, and that is why I want to introduce the sponsor of today's video, Masterworks. Masterworks allows almost anyone to invest in artists like Banksy and Picasso for a fraction of the cost of an entire painting. And in this fine art market, the results are kind of speaking for themselves. Each of their exits thus far have delivered positive returns to their investors. And with over 750 150,000 members, Masterworks have had paintings sell out in just minutes, so they're adding more and more to meet demand. But since they are sponsoring today's video, you can skip the waitlist completely and get started. Today, all you gotta do is click that first link in the description to start investing on Masterworks. See important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.com/CD. Now let's get back into my first ever improv class. We started off with some warm-up exercises. First, we all acted in slow motion and went around the room pretending we were samurais with swords for arms. Yeah. Then we went around in a circle creating sentences that rhymed with the last word off the top of our heads.
I ate a lot of food, now I feel bad. I like dogs, I don't like cats.
Now usually by this point in doing something new, I'm feeling comfortable, I'm easing up, and I'm getting into the flow of things. But I was in so much painful cringe that I gotta be honest, I was having a really tough time with this. Then the next exercise came, and this was when two people would come forward and just make up a scenario completely on the spot.
Oh, that's a pretty color.
Yeah, let's go see that.
Alright, can you guys see why I was having trouble with this? But possibly the most absurd scenario was when two people pretended to be aliens and two people next to them had to translate what they were saying about pizza.
So, welcome, we're gonna resolve this pizza issue.
So, in my opinion though, pepperoni's the best, wouldn't you agree?
He's saying that you gotta have anchovies and you gotta have extra cheese. It has to be vegan.
Now up until this point, I hadn't really gotten anything that I did on camera because I was just doing everything so poorly. But then came a scene where we were supposed to act out a story of people sneaking through a train station gate.
Hey, I'm asking questions here.
Okay,
Where's your friend?
My friend,
He didn't pay his ticket.
Oh, how are you gonna catch him? He's gone.
You're gonna pay for it.
What are you
You're gonna pay for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Right over here.
Oh, okay.
Now you gotta pay to get through.
But I'm not even in anything. I just walk away.
Finally, after class was finished, I made my way home.
Dude, that was something, to say the least. Bro, that is the most uncomfortable I've been in years. Genuinely, the most uncomfortable. But that's what you gotta do with your life. You gotta experience all these different things, experience these different people, see their worlds, and then see if their worlds match up with yours. As for whether I'll do that again,
Looking back on that experience, I can admire just how much those people probably don't allow anyone they interact with to trap themselves in a box. In fact, I think improv is one of the best examples of not letting any preconceived beliefs or notions about you dictate your actions. And for me at least, it served as a great reminder for how much of myself I'm still not fully comfortable with expressing because I don't see it as part of my identity. So I've explained to you how you might unconsciously be in some boxes right now and how I've recently tried to expand my horizons to become more interesting. What is it that I want you to do moving forward? What I want you to do is become a 1 out of 1. Yes, of course, to become truly great at anything, you must dedicate years of work into it and consistently get 1% better at it with each new iteration. And I encourage you to create that one thing. But don't let the pursuit of obsession with one thing distract you from having an identity that is completely fluid and open to the possibility of something different. It's so easy to let society choose the path for your identity and let others direct the way for you. But with each new experience you intentionally pursue, you become a more well-rounded, nuanced individual. Because you get to peek into a new set of identities, and that can have you asking the question, I wonder what these types of people have gone through to become who they are right now. When you decide to go whitewater rafting, you can see a whole new world of people who like living on the edge and battling with the elements. When you decide to take on bouldering, you can uncover just how vastly different the muscles you use are compared to weightlifting, and you open yourself up to a new community. And when you decide to go to that salsa dance lesson, you experience the types of people trying to get lost in the sensations of sounds that follow a very particular set of rhythms and chords. By being the one to decide to experience as much as life as you can while you're here, without the need for approval from others, you can take bits and pieces from each identity you receive from these experiences and craft a self completely unique and difficult to explain compared to anyone else. So do me a favor, click off this video and go start doing something now. Life itself is impossible to explain, so be more like life. Thank you very much to all my patrons on Patreon who are helping to support my channel here. If you're unfamiliar with that platform, it is where I put out exclusive content, and you can also talk to me one-on-one over the phone on there. If you want to check that out, link in the description. And if you are trying to develop more of a personality and be more interesting, check out this video where I go over some other stuff to help you with that. That's all, I'm heading out now. Love you guys, peace.